sparkling new Songus Arena up here on the campus of UMass-Lowell, where a Trevor Reshny goal has given Northeastern a 1-0 lead after one period of Hockey East play. Pleasure to be joined in between periods 1 and 2 by a guy that makes that no-look pass from the centerman position, as well as anyone in Hockey East, Eric Ortlip. And Eric, before we talk all things hockey, your impressions of that first period?
From our standpoint, it's a pretty good first period. It's nice to get a first goal there. Rush has been playing great lately, and he's been coming up with a lot of big goals for us. So nice to get on the board first. We can always go a little bit better. You know, we need to reduce the turnovers a little bit and get on the man. But nice to have a lead going into the second period here.
Bruce Crowder, I think your head coach, made an excellent point prior to this game that one way to look at things is that we've got the whole rest of the second half of the season to go, and negative momentum can be snapped at any time. How's the mood in general on the team?
I think we got a good group of guys here, and we're a pretty young team, as everybody knows. And you know, a lot of the kids, a lot of the freshmen aren't exactly used to winning, or they're not used to winning in Hockey East. And it really just takes a couple wins, a few wins to string together, and then everybody kind of gets that winning feeling, and it gets a little bit contagious, and good things can happen from that. So right now we're just taking this one game at a time, and we're going to try to string some wins together and get on a little bit of roll here.
Eric, as you're certainly aware of, chemistry is such an important part of hockey, especially from the centerman position, where you get to know your line mates to a point where you know where they're at all times, et cetera, et cetera. Give us an idea of when you may come back and where you might fit in on these line charts.
I got the clearance from the training staff, I think yesterday or today, and it's really up to coach right now when he wants to insert me in the lineup. I don't really care where I play. I don't mind playing anywhere, whether it's in the middle or on the boards. From the fourth to the first line, whatever he sees fit with the with the makeup of the team right now. And obviously they've been playing quite a few games without me, so they're going to have to work some things out, and wherever they throw me in there is fine with me. I'll go in and play my role and do my best to help the team. So it's really up to the coaching staff. I don't know where they're going to try to get me back in there.
Tell us a little bit, Eric, if you could, about your early days playing hockey and how you sort of ended up on Huntington Ave.
I played, I guess, 3.5 years in St. Louis, a junior team in St. Louis that's since moved. And I got a lot of good coaching. I had John Wensick, who's a former Bruin, and Rick Zombo, who I think spent a little bit of time with the Bruins. And you get some good experiences with those guys, and I think it kind of helped me mature a little bit, and I ended up getting recruited by Jamie Rice, and I came to Boston on my recruiting visit and fell in love with the city, and the guys on the team were great and seemed a good fit at the time. So it's been a great fit so far.
Tell us a little bit about your family. Athletic genes in there somewhere?
My dad was a pretty good athlete in high school, I guess. Nothing at the collegiate level, really. He played college football his freshman year at Bowling Green State, but I don't think he wanted to spend the time and effort that they were making him put into it at that point. But yeah, he was, he played basketball, football, and baseball in high school, and I guess your prototypical, from the Midwest, played all three sports.
Right.
And did that thing. So yeah, I guess you could say I come from pretty athletic genes.
You've had a chance to survey some of the architecture in Hockey East at this point, some of the rinks from Alfond Arena to BC to UMass-Lowell to UNH and beyond. Tell us a little bit about some of the buildings that have impressed you.
Of course, I love Matthews. Matthews is a great place to play. I think Maine's a great place to play. I really like the atmosphere up there, and it's kind of a smaller rink, and every hit gets a response, and every good play gets a response. So I have a good time playing at Maine. Lowell and what is it, the Mullen Center?
Right.
Are very nice rinks, and BC's a nice rink, and BU's got a good atmosphere. So, they're all pretty good rinks. They're all, we have pretty good facilities in Hockey East, which is nice.
There's a little tournament that you're aware of by now by the name of the Bean Pot,
yep,
which is down Route 93 a little bit at the Fleet Center. It used to be played at the Boston Garden, obviously. And if you put a couple good games together this weekend, you can kind of use that as fuel to go into the Bean Pot. You do well in the Bean Pot, and you're really on a roll.
Yeah, it's kind of a, I don't want to say a sprint to the finish here, but it's starting to get close, and we still want to take things one game at a time here. We don't want to look forward to the Bean Pot quite yet, and we still need to win some Hockey East games, and that's our main focus right now, is really trying to win Hockey East games, because the Bean Pot's a non-conference game. So yeah, it'd be great if we could get, a couple wins here and get some confidence going into Bean Pot, and like you said, Bean Pot can change a team's season like that, and you maybe saw that a little bit last year when we lost to BU in the finals, and hopefully we can reverse that this year and get a little bit of momentum going into the last part of the season.
One of the jackpots, obviously, you can hit coming to the Division I level is to get a pretty good education at Northeastern, see Boston, a great city with all of its culture, and maybe play beyond that. And the other night we had Jimmy Fahey playing on the blue line with Dan McGillis. Anything can happen. Where do you see your future going down the road?
I'll probably give it to Leon Hayward, Chris Lynchroot at first there, and
Sure.
try to play, minor pro somewhere if anybody wants me. And then, if it's not going anywhere, I'll probably hang them up at some point. But, of course, it's a dream to try to play professional hockey, and it's obviously probably better than joining the real work world, at least from my standpoint. So, I'll play as long as I can, and as long as I can make ends meet and, make it work for myself, and it's still fun and it's still enjoyable. So, we'll see. It's a year and a half away, and quite a ways away in my opinion. But I'll probably try to play some form of professional hockey when I'm done here.
Do you see yourself at this point as an urban guy, as a city guy? Do you think can you see yourself settling down in a job in an urban situation, or do you still have some of the country kind of Midwestern in you? Or?
Yeah, I like the East Coast. I like Boston a lot. I like New York City. I wouldn't say I'm too rural. I'm from St. Louis, so it's pretty similar to Boston, and where there's a city and you have plenty of suburbs. But I don't see myself going anywhere rural anytime soon. It'll be somewhere in a city.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about some of the jobs that you've had on co-op.
I just had one. I worked last year for State Auditor Joe DiNucci downtown, which is a really good experience. I had a lot of fun doing that. And, the co-op's a great thing that Northeastern has, and it's it gives you great experience, and it's a good thing to put on a resume. So very, very fortunate to have the co-op program. It's a great asset the school has.
One of the things you mentioned earlier is that you're not afraid to mix it up and play the finesse game. It reminds me a little bit of the way Eddie McGrain plays. He can kind of play that game along the board, bang it up a little, and also he seems very comfortable dishing it one way or the other. That seems to be something that the Northeastern offense could use right now, and you coming back in the lineup will supply that.
Yeah, hopefully. I like to pride myself as a two-way player, and I like to be responsible in the defensive zone, and I like to try to provide for the offense too. So, I approach every game as saying I'm going to be the best two-way player on the ice, or one of the best, and I'm not going to get scored on him, and I'm going to try to score. And I think that's a pretty good way to approach the game, and I think it leads to success in terms of, if you don't get scored on and you're scoring, eventually you're going to end up scoring more goals than the other team, you'd like to think. So, I like to pattern myself as a good, solid two-way player, and I like to think I'm a decent one at this point in my career.
You hinted at some of the psychology when you go on the road. You played in Alfond Arena. Very important to take the crowd out of the game up there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's, you go on a game, you go on a road trip like that, and you get in a game, and it's really important just the first 10 minutes to, you're getting the puck out, you're getting the puck in deep, you're making them work for everything. You don't want to give Maine or any other team, for that matter, a bunch of good scoring chances that gets the crowd into it. You really want to kind of slow the game down a bit and really have a road mentality. You don't want to try to, you don't want to try too many fancy plays. You just kind of keep it simple there for the first 10 minutes, and then, everybody kind of settles in, and then you can kind of start to maybe try a few things. And, we're a young team, and we don't do that all the time, and we got to get a lot better at that. When we're going into different buildings to just kind of try to deflate the, not even the crowd in a sense, but the other team. The other teams that are on their home ice, they come out, they're firing on all cylinders, and you really need to, you need to try to stop some of that momentum, and in the first 10 minutes of that's very important.
Woody, we want to thank you for coming up. We hope you get back in the lineup as soon as possible. Obviously, a very articulate guy that's going to go a long way, and we thank you for stopping up.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. My guest has been Eric Ortlip, who's out of the lineup right now. Injured sentiment for Northeastern hockey. Here in between periods, where Northeastern leads the Lowell Riverhawks 1-0. This has been the UBS Payne Weber Between Period show. Rob and I will be back with second period action after these messages on Huskies Radio.